Okay. This is what I mean about unleashing the beast. It's not about, like I said, lifting weights, making money. It's about being in touch with these instincts, right? I find in my experience, most people in the Western world, maybe most people in the world today, we're so disconnected from what we're feeling and what it means. And also how to regulate it, how to bring it back down. If we're feeling really angry, we're feeling really sad, we're feeling really afraid, how do we settle and soothe the nervous system, right? How do we make that feeling come down? Do we drink alcohol, right? Smoke cigarettes, watch porn, buy things we don't need and don't even have the money to buy, right? Do we yell at our kids or yell at people around us, right? There's these different things we do to ultimately regulate the fight and flight response on the nervous system. Now, maybe you do those things. They're quite unhealthy. I've done them, just being honest. But there's other things too that are very common that people also use. Things like meditation, breathwork, life coaching, hopefully not with mushrooms and people telling you you're 3 times worse than Hitler. You can talk therapy, journaling, gratitude lists, self-help books and courses, Tony Robbins, motivational videos on YouTube. There's all these different things we do to feel better. And I did all of them, all the ones I just mentioned, more as well. And everything was helpful. I meditated for 20 minutes a day for almost 10 years before this whole thing happened with these coaches. And so what was interesting is despite 10 years of meditation, daily, almost daily meditation, and at some periods I'd done an hour or two. I think at one point I was doing 4 hours a day of meditation just for, I think, a few weeks or a month or something. But I meditated my fair share. And yet, that did not stop me from getting involved with these people. If anything, it made me more vulnerable. Because meditation depends on how it's taught, how the person practices. But I think for a lot of people, it may help us to relax, but sometimes that relaxation comes at the cost of being more disconnected from what we're feeling. We're not really feeling through it and resolving it. We're just learning how to not feel it. Learning how to take a deep breath and let it go. And sometimes it's great. Sometimes we need to be more in touch, more connected. And in my experience, meditation did not do that. And from what I've seen with other people, it does not do that for a lot of people. Some people, sure. Maybe as a culture, because we're already so mental, so in our heads, meditation, because people aren't really in their body yet, meditation just exaggerates or makes the problem worse. That was my experience. And like I said, it did not help me with these people. It was not what saved me from these people. Neither was any of the other stuff, breath work and life coaching and journaling and gratitude lists and all the different things, self-help books I'd read. None of that helped. What helped was learning to feel the body. I'm not saying about getting rid of the mind. I'm not saying destroying the mind or transcending the ego. That's not what it's about. It's about bringing these things into alignment. The mind is fantastic for certain things. You want to do mathematics, use your mind. The body's probably not going to help very much with that. But when it comes to feeling danger, noticing your fight or flight response, when it comes to that, knowing when you're around someone dangerous, for example, nothing beats feeling the body. And no book can tell you what to do, what to think, what to feel. This is just learning to feel the authentic response that the body's having. This is what I mean about unleashing the beast. Because if you look at animals, they are just in touch with this side of themselves. They don't think. They're not ruminating all day long about what's going on in their life, as far as we know. They're just in the moment. If they're scared, they run. If they're angry, they attack. If you give them food, if they don't want to eat it, they don't apologize. They don't make excuses. They don't say, hey, look, I'm really sorry. I've just had enough. I'm not too hungry. I hope you're not offended. Is it okay? They just stop eating. They are completely themselves. And as a result, they have more energy. Just imagine what your life would be like if you didn't think so much, if you felt more. How much energy do you burn each day thinking about stuff that doesn't matter, worrying about the past or worrying about the future? For most people, it's most of the time. That's energy, right? It also takes a lot of energy to not feel things, right? When we've got emotions like that anger or that sadness or whatever that's in us that we're like pushing down, That takes energy to hold all that stuff in. Or if we're drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes and doing different things like that, it all costs energy. So just imagine what your life would be like if you didn't need all this unhealthy stuff to regulate your nervous system, to calm yourself down. And what if you didn't need to think so much? You'd have so much more energy, so much more motivation, so much more drive for your life. This is what I mean when I'm talking about unleashing the beast. It's about getting in touch with this side of yourself, learning to feel, learning to put the mind in its proper place, not to get rid of it. And it's not about being calm all the time either, as much as meditation and certain practices would. It's all about being calm. The truth is it's not. Calm is your parasympathetic nervous system. It's part of your existence, you might say. That's when you're relaxed, you're sleeping, you're digesting food, you're talking to friends. But that sympathetic system is absolutely necessary for situations like with these coaches. If you're not in tune with that, if you're not listening to it, or on the other hand, if you're in that fight or flight state all the time, you're going to miss very, very valuable cues, very important cues for safety, for your life. And this also ties into, say, getting unstuck and on purpose. Remember, the intention when I hired these people originally was purpose, passion, and profit. Right? I wanted to find something I could believe in, something I was passionate about, that I love to do, and something that I could make money with. And in a weird way, that's exactly what happened as a result of this ceremony that I did with this couple. That's what led to Rage Heart, which is a company I started to teach people, where I teach people how to do exactly what we're talking about here, how to get into the body, how to get out of the head, into the body, out of thinking and ruminating, and into feeling. And there's an incredible sense of purpose with it. I believe in this stuff just about almost more than anything else. To me, this and psychedelics, plant medicine like ayahuasca and San Pedro, the nervous system stuff plus the psychedelics is where it's at. That, to me, has made just about every other tool more or less irrelevant. Because on their own, they're both fantastic. You put them together and it's magic. So that's the purpose. And the passion as well, because I love it. I love this stuff. I love the nervous system stuff. So many times I have these thoughts drop in where it's like, I don't know how people get through life without these skills, without knowing how to bring themselves down and out of fight or flight, out of freeze, without using alcohol and cigarettes and breath work and all the different things that people do, actually learning how to run and drive their nervous system. I guess people don't really get through life without those skills. That's why they're drinking. That's why they're shopping. That's why porn is such a huge thing. All kinds of addictions, shopping, hurting other people, gaslighting other people. It all comes back to the same thing. People aren't feeling safe. And so they lash out. They do things to other people, to the world, to themselves, as a way to improve or increase their feelings of safety. So to me, so much comes back to this, regulating that fight or flight response. We could say rewilding, if we're going to go with that unleash the beast phrase, rewilding the nervous system, making it wild again. Instead of domesticated, a nervous system that does what it's told, that stays in a perpetual state of fight or flight due to the society that we live in, stays in its head. Rewilding it, making the nervous system wild again, unleashing the beast inside you. So that's